If you're like a lot of people these days, there's a really good chance right now you're feeling a little or a lot of fear, anxiety, stress, pressure, anger, overwhelm, uh, insecurity, you name it. Not exactly pleasant feelings to feel. Many of those feelings are the emotions that go hand in hand with scarcity. That's why it's called scarcity, because it's scary, right? That's not exactly the peace and freedom and well-being and joy and abundance that we want to experience. Agreed? Now, what may be causing you to feel these emotions could be different for you. Maybe it's your bank account. There ain't enough money in it, or maybe it's your debt. There's way too much of that, or maybe you're looking ahead to retirement. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have enough, and I'm never going to have enough. Maybe you're just looking ahead to the holidays and wondering how you're going to pay for presents and entertaining and all of that sort of stuff. It can be something like that. It can be something that's happening at a larger level, like the election results, like the wars sprouting up around the world, like climate change, environmental disasters. I mean, you and I, we could come up with a long list of reasons, things that are happening in our lives and in our world that justify, yep, I'm scared, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, all of that sort of stuff. But the problem is that oftentimes when those things happen and we feel these things, is then how we respond to what's going on actually creates more of the very thing we don't want to experience. It perpetuates unnecessary scarcity. It causes more stress and more fear and more overwhelm and more anxiety and more pressure and more like not enough time and not enough money and I haven't done enough and there's not going to be enough. And you get my drift? So in today's video, I want to give you a different way of approaching it. I want to give you a couple of tools that can support you to be in a world where all of this stuff is going on. Be in a world where we face challenges and problems and disasters and all of that. And yet you can respond in a way that supports you to experience more peace, more authentic power, more presence, so that then what you do to address these challenges is going to support you and it's going to support the world around you. So, first, a story. I have a dear friend who loves to swim, who loves to be in the water. She grew up near the ocean, and her happy place is when she's in the water, swimming, floating, etc. Whether it's the ocean, whether it's a lake, whether it's the pool, that is definitely her happy place. And one day she was telling me something she learned that was quite profound when she was young and she was swimming in the ocean. And she said, there are days where the ocean and the water is very still. And it's so lovely. You can just float on your back. And if you want to swim, it's really easy. There's no struggle. It's just nice. And then there are other days where the ocean is like churned up and choppy and there's white caps and floating, you're swallowing water and trying to get someplace. It's like you're having to resist and it's harder work. It's not as pleasant. And she said, but you know what I discovered is no matter what's going on at the surface, calm or churned up and stormy, if I dive down deep enough under the surface of the water, there's this stillness and quiet and peace and calm. I invite you, my friend, to remember that right now, at this time in your life and going forward. If the waters in your life and in our world are stormy and choppy and, like all of that, instead of having to fight them all the time, first step, dive deeper. Dive deeper, go underneath the surface and drop into the real source of abundance and well-being. And that's understanding that abundance isn't just about externals and can I have, money in my bank account and can this happen and this happen? That abundance is first and foremost an inner knowing and inner trusting that we, you and me, are part of something bigger than us. And our individual perceptions and all of our individual efforts, even our individual lives. That it's not all up to us. That Even when there's stormy challenges, etc., underneath it all, there's something bigger. Underneath it all, there is a place within you and within this creation where there is stillness and peace. And what all religions say underneath all of that is love, like unconditional love. The best way to respond to all the stuff that's going up here that has you get all scared and have to do this and try and, is to go deep. Go deep. Go inward to reconnect with that. Second, things happen. You don't have money to pay your mortgage. You got a bunch of debt. You don't have much set aside for retirement. There's things going on in the world. We cannot deny them. But oftentimes, what causes us all of the fear and the stress and the overwhelm and the anxiety is because these things are happening and we're painting a picture off into the future of what that means. Oh my God, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and I don't have enough money to pay my mortgage today. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be homeless on the street next month. Sometimes what's happening, we're already trying to anticipate what could happen and protect ourselves against this. Sometimes we're looking at what's happened in the past and it's clouding our experience and perception of what is so. And what I know is that the access point to that knowing and trusting that you're part of something bigger, to a deeper layer of peace and stillness and actual love, doesn't happen when we go off to the future, and it doesn't happen when we keep looking at the past. It's only accessible and available in this moment right here. It's no different than our breathing. We cannot breathe for the rest of the week. We cannot inhale for the rest of the week, right? We cannot hold on to the inhales that we've had before. Anytime we do that, we block ourselves from participating in the flow. To live, literally, moment by moment by moment, we have to open to inhale what's here. We have to open to exhale and release what's here. And then we have to do it again and again. That experience of knowing and trusting and peace and joy, that stillness that's underneath the ocean, happens when we learn how to be open and present in this moment. Now, that's a life's practice, my friends. It's what all spiritual traditions are designed to help us do, is to learn how to be present and open to this moment. Now, how do you do that? Like I said, that's a lifelong practice, and many spiritual practices and spiritual traditions have all sorts of tools, meditation practices, etc., that can help you do that. I want to give you one here as well. So in the show notes below, in the description below, there's a link to a relatively short audio recording of a meditation I will walk you through that's going to connect these two ideas into one. It's going to walk you through the process of diving down deeper, getting underneath the storminess of your life and connecting by trusting that you're part of something bigger and learning how to bring yourself present to this moment. Because, my friend, we cannot create abundance for ourselves or the world. We cannot access those experiences of joy and peace and fulfillment and abundance and well-being that we want for ourselves in the world from a place of scarcity. We cannot respond to the challenges that are part of life and that can cause us stress and fear and pressure. But with fear and stress and pressure, we have to access a different energy to bring back to it. As I've oftentimes said, abundance is first and foremost an internal experience, an internal knowing that we can then bring out into the world and express through our choices and our actions. If you'd like to dive deep and experience a little bit more calm and peace in your life right now, download the audio recording, totally free, my gift to you.